Well, the shipment of goodies came in from Australia, so we can work on the car again. Biggest arrival is the intake manifold from Custom Alloy Welding in Australia. He sells like a You Weld It kit. And then our buddy Joey at Follower Speed and Performance, he makes the LS manifolds you'll see on a lot of stuff online. He welded it up for us, so it's done. So here it is. He offered the shortest manifold, I guess, that we've really found.
Yeah, the shortest runners. He made them even shorter in his kit. Basically, the kit comes with a plenum, a flange, and then the runners, and he basically made the runners as short as he could. So it worked out pretty good. And then I had a LS throttle body flange laying around. We welded that on. LS 4-bolt throttle body that's flipped upside down. But yeah, his kit worked out really nice. And then I had Joey make me some, well, he actually welded this whole thing together, but he made me brackets and stuff to fit the factory fuel rail on, and modified that. We cut the ends off and put 8AN on the ends. So
yeah, this is a real nice piece.
Yep.
And then the guys at Nugget Garage, also in Australia, sent us AC bypass pulley because the one Corey bought was totally wrong. So this one actually fit. Chris over there said, I think this is it's off a newer Ute. I forget what year he said it was.
Some stripper model.
Yeah,
though.
He said that they had some tradesman just junk model. It didn't come with air conditioning. Yeah, they sent these nice stickers.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Check out their channel. They got some good stuff on there. So,
and also, I think we're the only ones with these stickers in the US. So you can start bidding in the comment section. I'll start bidding at $1. We'll start mailing these out to people to make up for the price of the intake and the rest of the build. But yeah, there's a chance it might run today, or at least it should run in this video. I don't know if it'll be today or tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow we plan on driving it. Today, it's kind of late in the day because I had to run the Joey's this morning, get some stuff welded. We might have to re-weld one item yet, but we plan on having this running tomorrow. So yeah, you should see in this video, and hopefully it works out all right. The downpipe won't be finished probably for another week or two, but we'll drive it around open downpipe.
Yeah, it has enough exhaust on it.
Yeah, it has enough exhaust to tune it and stuff, so.
It really just needs the intake put on, some coolant stuff hooked up, and the fuel hook to the injectors, and it should start.
Yeah, hopefully.
Right.
I just gotta tap the underside of this intake manifold for the air inlet temp. I figured use it because it's on our screen to see what kind of IATs we have. We gotta do the intercooler pipe today on that side. I already did this side, so gotta drill a hole in the inside fender, run the pipe. That shouldn't take too long, but a lot of stuff got done behind the scenes while we were waiting. This stuff was just stuck in Australia forever, so that's what held us up. That's why it's been a while for a video. So, but yeah, thanks to everybody who helped us out with everything. Really appreciate it. So, all right.
Hopefully it runs.
Yep.
here's the AC delete bracket that Nugget sent us. Even came with the bolts. Yeah, here's the power steering delete he made. It's just like a piece of plate steel with, now this is an idler pulley off something in the junkyard. I don't remember what it was anymore. Like a Jeep or something. So you got off of it, wasn't it a Jeep?
Oh yeah, the idler pulley, I thought that was off like that,
It was off like an Isuzu or something, wasn't it?
It was like an Isuzu SUV, but it wasn't that like GM stuff kinda?
Yeah, it's a metal groove pulley. And then it's just bolts where the original Barra-powered steering pump went. So actually, I think this belt you said was like 1 inch shorter than
inch and a half.
Inch and a half shorter than a factory Barra belt.
Yeah, because I figured the AC delete was probably the same size belt as it would have been, but I knew my idler was smaller for the power steering. So hopefully this doesn't snap off like Carnage's.
Yeah, and go through the radiator. Yeah, at least this radiator is probably cheaper though.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's the water neck. Joey modified this too. We had to clearance it around here so the intake will fit. And lost some flow there. You can kind of see down here, but I think it's still plenty. But because we lost that, we're not going to run a thermostat. So Corey just cut the guts out of this one, but we're still using it because it has an O-ring gasket. I'd probably rather do this than just try and smear RTV on it. I think it's a better luck with this sealing.
Yep.
Saddle just sitting there. I'll put the water neck on it. We believe this is a stock way. And there's a fitting up here too. This was going to serve some purpose before, but now I think we're just going to use to bleed the air out of it. It should be easy to bleed anyway because of no thermostat being in it. But on the bottom here is a GM coolant temp sensor, and then this is going to be our like heater hose bypass right up to there.
Yeah, we already plugged in all the fuel injectors here. So there's the main injector harness. We're not using 2 plugs because they're only using 6, but it'll run in 6 cylinders, so it's fine. And then there's the vacuum hose for the map sensor. So everything's kind of like together, so it's easy to put in and out.
Yeah, it goes to the
main harness.
Yeah, this will plug into the Holly harness.
Yep. Yeah, we'll fit this in. We're just gonna probably put it in for a couple minutes here and drill a hole for the throttle body intercooler side piping. So.
Yeah, we're shooting it through the inner fender well here. So gotta see where we have to do it. I think if it's in there, you're not gonna be able to get a drill in.
I might have to take that thermostat, this off. I forgot about that.
The top one.
Yeah. I don't know, I could see, but let me see, hold up. I think I got it.
Okay. You can see we weren't joking. We were complaining about how tight the intake was. Corey even had to notch the shock tower there a little bit.
Oh, the fine notch.
Yep. Well,
slice and bash.
Hammer, flux core, take back together.
Yeah, I just cut 2 slits in it, beat the hell out of it, and then just fluxed it. But and I even don't tell the custom alloy welding dude that I ground his intake, but it doesn't look too bad. I got mad. But yeah, I think it looks pretty good. Just got a clearance here a little bit.
We put the intake in so we can mark where to hole saw the hole through the strut tower. Looks like there's about good. That'll be the first attempt.
Yeah.
Measure not at all, cut 3 times.
Yeah.
Are you gonna start with a 3-inch hole saw and work your way up to a 7 by the time it actually is in the right spot?
It starts with you start with a 3, I think a 3.5 I have, then you work your way up to the grinder and just cut a square. Worked out pretty good.
So it's day 2 now. Started raining yesterday, so that kind of slowed things down. And then the fuel rail, the fitting was in the wrong spot. So I had to take it back to Joey's, and he cut it off and welded it again. So thanks for that, late night service. But now we can put this on, run the fuel line. Corey got the intercooler pipe mostly done, or pretty much all the way done. Then the throttle cable's on. We got some radiator hoses on in the rain yesterday. Upper and lower, that's good. So yeah, it's almost there. The intake's on for real this time. It's actually bolted down and mounted. So I think we're almost there. Fuel rail, you said the brake booster fitting, the grommet tore in the brake booster.
Yeah.
And then see if it runs, I guess.
Yeah. See how many neutrals we got in that 4L80.
Yep. PRNNNN.
Yeah.
You have to modify your shift indicator.
I'm surprised you think it has reverse.
It's a fuel pressure transducer, or it's a feed for it.
Yeah, because the Holly harness, I didn't want to extend it, so I just figured I'd extend this. Instead of putting the transducer there and extending the wires, I just extending this to the actual wires, because the transducer is more to the front of the car. So I got this little thing here to add it in. So
that goes in the back of the rail.
Yeah.
That's the, what is it, $5 a gallon or $2 a gallon?
This I got for $1. It's usually $2, but I got it for $1 a gallon.
Yep. It's race coolant.
I love it.
It's from the junkyard. It's waterless coolant because it's coolant and oil. There's no water at all.
It's any color too.
Yep. Just drained into the drum.
It mixes with anything.
Here's everything pretty much buttoned up in the engine bay. The intake's completely on. Fits pretty nice. Slight notching there in the shock tower, and then a little bit of grinding on the intake. The fuel rail is mounted on it. Got the new brake booster fitting in back here. Just went to AutoZone and grabbed that. Hoses are clamped on, radiator hoses, all that. I forgot to note it yesterday because it started raining, so I didn't want to get the camera wet. But rotated the thermostat housing here forward. It was facing out over here, but then kind of looked like it was going to be a complete mess trying to get like a radiator hose above the throttle body and all that. So putting it forward just allowed you to use like an S hose. So just drilled and tapped. There was like unused space here on this water neck. Just shot it forward. All the coils are plugged in. DVT solenoids are plugged in, but they're not even being used. They're just plugged in to look nice. Like I said, throttle cable's on. Never mentioned it before, but this is using the same Volvo fan like I have in my truck. And there's a speed controller over there. So it's a decent sized fan. But just buttoning up the last few things here and it should be ready to test fire, or at least attempt to test fire.
Tell you what, that's pretty nice. I already ran that in there. Hopefully this fits. Oh man.
It's a clean install. Man, you're in the 21st century.
It's factory. Man, that's pretty cool. Easy to see too.
Funny thing is, it's pretty much the size of the factory gauge.
I know.
That's all you had to work with anyway.
Yep.
Crank it.
Go ahead.
No, that was late. That was late.
You want to try it now with no cam or no?
Yeah,
Can we just try it
Yeah,
quick?
try with no cam for fun.
It's the cam time. It's the
Cam.
It's probably that cam one.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I think I got any. Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
Why does it sound like shit?
So we're having spark issues with the Barra stuff in the igniter box.
Well, that's true. I just deleted.
We just crudely laid LS coils in there with some wires and gonna see if this improves everything.
Yeah, because maybe my igniter box or something with that is screwed up.
Well, the motor was running rough, and we figured out 1, 3, and 5 weren't firing. 2, 4, and 6 were.
But the spark looks a crap.
But the spark was kind of weak. I don't know. We'll see what happens here. Seems like we actually fixed it. Well, we'll see.
Still hasn't missed, but.
Out.
I'm going to summarize what you just saw in the last few minutes, what was the last few hours in real time in the video. Initially, the car would not start. We were initially trying to use sequential fuel injection, which is where it reads the crank and the cam sensors and fires cylinders individually as needed. The way we got to start was actually switching it to batch fire, which is fires the cylinders in 2 different banks. So I know this engine only has 1 bank, but you can split them up into 2. In this case, it was cylinders 1, 3, and 5, and 2, 4, and 6. The car ran, but still had a pretty heavy misfire. What we figured out is that cylinders 1, 3, and 5 were not firing like reliably. If you unplugged the coils, it didn't make much difference to the engine, the contribution. So we were messing around with it, put LS coils on it, that didn't fix it, had fuel, so it's like a timing issue. For some reason it's not activating those cylinders when it should. Just as a Hail Mary, we tried the sequential again, and somehow it fired up and ran pretty good. Still had a little bit of a misfire, but you could hear before it was running much smoother. So they decided to try and drive the car up and down the driveway and see how it did, and it started going downhill real quick. The crank sensor started losing signal. We're losing the map sensor with pegging like one side to the other. The throttle position was cutting in and out, so there's a few different like electrical problems going on, or a problem in the software, not really sure yet. Hopefully next weekend, by next weekend or next video at least, it'll be sorted out and we'll be able to take the car on an actual test drive.